Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second video I'm making tonight as both the Arsenal men and women played in the same night. I actually watched the first half of the women's game, then watched the Arsenal men's game, then went back and watched the second half of the women's game because the second half of the women's game and first half of the men's game were happening at the same time. That out of the way, Arsenal men just defeated Dinamo Zagreb 3-0 in the Champions League. Um, I said in my last reaction for a Champions League game that I'd be surprised if we didn't beat Dinamo Zagreb, and in the end, it ended up being fairly comfortable. I think Dinamo Zagreb, I didn't realize quite how fast they were. Like, they were very quick on the break, but it seemed like whenever they got into a very good attacking position, they didn't do very well. Like, they'd take too long to shoot, and then they'd end up not having actually done anything. And they pressured the defense well, and again, they're just really fast. Um, but they didn't do anything in attack. So they didn't come away with anything. I didn't realize Dinamo Zagreb are third in the Croatian league, which by their standards is pretty poor. I also didn't realize Fabio Cannavaro is their manager. That's kind of interesting, if nothing else. Uh, but Arsenal, despite a few worrying bits where Dinamo Zagreb was doing a very good job pressuring their defense, still looked fairly good and assured. It's nice to get a goal right away, especially when you're playing a team who's seems to have a strategy of defend and catch you on the break. Um, so having a goal right away is helpful. Then there's less to defend. Um, So it was like Havertz read the game really well. Just a nice little pass to Declan Rice, who then rifled home goal. 2 minutes in, we're winning as a very nice play. All around, just perfect Arsenal football right there. It's nice to see Havertz do well as well after a lot of the criticism he's got, including from myself. He hasn't done well recently, so I'm hoping that he can get back on top of things because when he's on form, he does actually do pretty well, and he had a good game tonight. Um, so we went into halftime up 1-0. Could have been more, but that was fine. Got a second goal about 15 minutes into the second half, and then the game was more or less done. That was a beautiful cross from Martinelli into Havertz, who didn't have to do too much to finish it, but got the header right, which is more than he's done recently. Again, Havertz had a nice game, and Martinelli I should shout out too, because that was a beautiful cross. I'm glad Nwaneri's back. He also had a really nice cross that Rice managed to muff completely. Probably should have been a third goal, which is a shame that Nwaneri couldn't have registered an assist. Still, though, he did very well. He's continuing to do well. Um, It's quite exciting to see Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri, and also Butler Odeyeji, I think is the name. I didn't recognize him when he was subbed on. Like the camera showed him, and I got kind of excited because like number 37, I don't recognize that name. That means it's probably a youth graduate, and I'm always down for giving youth graduates minutes. He almost didn't get on the pitch too. It took like 3 minutes for Arsenal to sub him on, but he got a few minutes at the end of the game, and now he gets to say that he's playing a Champions League game, which is pretty cool. Having done a bit more research on him after the game, he's actually older than I thought. He's 22, and has gone on out on loan a few times. So we'll see if he does break through into the first team. I feel like Lewis Skelly and Ranieri are more likely to right now, but it's still nice to see a young guy get minutes. Um, then the third goal, game was already pretty much done at that point. But again, it was a well worked goal. All three of the goals are really well worked, which is also nice to see because sometimes we've struggled with creativity this season a little bit. Uh, and also, it's good to see Odegaard score. I feel like he could use a goal because he's always very good at passing, but he's not been great at shooting this season. Like, quite a few times he's had a decent chance to score and shot it over the bar. Uh, so I'm glad he could get on the score sheet. all around, it's a pretty nice night. And now Arsenal are almost through to the knockout stage. Um, they have 16 points. Then I think they need one more point to ensure they're in the top eight. They're almost certainly going to be in the top eight. Like they could probably lose to Girona and they'd still be in the top eight. That being said, if the Champions League draw is going to be anything like the Conference League draw, which I assume it will be the same, then where you finish does matter for seeding purposes. Though a lot of the elite teams have not done as well, so maybe it won't matter as much. But we're in a good position in the Champions League. It was a fun night. Uh, I'm like, I think we still could have maybe been a bit better in attack, but we still scored 3 goals, and I'm fairly happy with how the game went.